Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY On this video, I'm going to show you how to make this adorable banner using ticking fabric. Mine is, that I'm using today, is this tan and cream, and then we're going to use quilt batting. We're going to jazz it up some with some trim, maybe some lace, maybe some natural wood beads, and I'm going to teach you guys how to make this loopy flower. So it's going to be super cute. I'm really excited. We're just going to kind of see where it's going to go, but we'll do the whole thing start to finish. So as you're hopping on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you have any questions along the way. Feel free to sprinkle, 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 all that normal stuff. All right, so the first thing I did was I took my ticking in this kind of caramely tan color, and I tore it roughly the length that I would want the banner pieces to be, and I'll show you how you do that. I made a pattern for myself using some computer paper. Let me go to the right side of this, and this came from Walmart. It's like $6, $7 a yard. It's not expensive. It's just really neutral. You could do the same idea with red or navy blue, or even with just canvas duck cloth. Okay, let me grab my ruler so I can tell you how long mine is. That doesn't necessarily mean that yours would need to be the same length, but this is my pattern. I just folded a piece of computer paper, cut it the length I thought I would want, and then cut this little snip here. That's it. So it is about 7 inches long. It is about 5.5 inches wide, and the center, the little point here, is like 5.25 inches, just roughly. Okay, so I said 7 inches, right? Okay. So I'm just going to go down about 7 inches, and I'm going to take a little snip. If you have not ripped fabric before, oh my word, it's oddly satisfying. And this fabric rips straight, which is so nice. Okay, so then I just took my pattern and put it on. I folded my little ticking fabric, put my pattern on the top of it, and cut it out. And I cut out, I think I decided I was gonna do 7 total pieces. 3 of them are done the same way, basically with the quilt batting, which you can get this at Walmart as well. It's just in the fabric section. It's quilt batting like what would go inside of a quilt, and you can get different sizes. And this actually is, I've only ever bought one, and I've made a lot of different projects with it. This is all I have left, because it's pretty cool. I like working with this. But this is what quilters put inside of like a sandwich of the quilt fabric to make quilts, okay? And it's soft and it's fun to work with. Okay, so I did that to get all of my pieces. And let me just lay them out here. Let's see, where did I put that? Okay, you won't be able to see all of it, but I'm just gonna lay it out here so that I can visually. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 pieces of the ticking and 3 pieces of the quilt batting. Okay, I still don't think you can see all of that. Oh well, it does not matter. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach it to some twine. This is my favorite kind to use. It's from Walmart. It's called natural polished hemp. You can find this stuff in the jewelry section of the craft department. It's usually on the very lowest aisle and it lasts forever. And what I like about it is the polished part. It's polished, so that means it's easy to get beads and stuff on it. Okay, so let me flip my little banner over and we'll attach our twine. Stay with me because we're going to be doing the flowers in just a minute. And oh my gosh, they are so fun to do. Okay, just looking to see what I've got going on here. Okay, so before I came live, I took some of these. Do you guys remember how I went to Walmart late last week and I picked up some of these wood bead garlands in the Christmas section at Walmart for very reasonable prices? I cut them apart and they were in different sizes, and so I have my bag of that. And before I came live, I measured out how long I would want my banner to be so it will fit my fireplace. Oops, I have a little knot here. Okay, and this is how long I want my banner to be. And I threaded some beads on it that will go small, big, small in between each one. All right, so I want to get this to the center. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm basically just putting my beads like in little sections of how they'll be in between the banner pieces. It'll be small, big, small. All right, and I need to go out to the very edge of this one. And we're basically just going to fold the top over and hot glue it. All right, and I'm using my low temperature hot glue gun. It's called a Surebonder Cool Shot. The reason why I'm doing this one is because I hate to burn myself, but also when we do the flowers, you're gonna get glue on your hands. So please don't use a super hot temperature hot glue gun, or I feel like you will get burned and you don't wanna do that. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but I'll lift it up in just a second. I'm just gluing folding my little piece over, and I'm just doing it by an eyeball. See, this is the back. And then this end of the banner will have, this is what it will have on either side. And then there'll be another banner piece. I hope this is making sense. We're doing this craft all the way from start to finish. And I think that you're gonna say, oh my gosh, that is so cute, Heidi. You're gonna probably want to make this same banner. I'm just gonna move this out of the way so we can just go one by one. I'm trying as much as possible not to glue the actual piece to the twine because I want to be able to scooch it around. And I can come back and add more hot glue if I need to later and trim it all up. Okay, so now I have these two on this side. And hopefully I didn't glue this. Yeah, and it's scoochable. I think that's a technical term, scoochable. Okay, so let's keep going. So I'm just alternating ticking, quilt batting, ticking, quilt batting. And I am really just eyeballing this. I'm not measuring to make sure that I fold each piece over exactly perfect because you won't be able to tell if it's not perfect there. Okay, now we need another quilt batting piece. Hopefully that one's scoochable. Yes, it is. And hey, I wanted to mention that if these comments right here are in your way, if you're watching this on Facebook, are doing, oops, I think I'm still here. I lost you for a second. I'm so very sorry. Anyways, if these comments are in your way, you should be able to swipe them either left or right or up and down, depending on what device you're watching on, and they should disappear. And then you can bring them back if you want, but I have no way to remove them. I'm sorry. So just swipe them away if they're bothering you. I get that question all the time. And I want to do my crafts close enough for you to really be able to see, but then I want you to see my head and all the way down here to my hands as well. So it's hard, but you can fix that problem yourself. Okay, we have this piece, and then I think we have one more. If you look close at my pieces, you will notice that some of the ticking ones are fraying a little bit on the edges, and that's fine. And some of the quilt batting ones are a little jaggedy. You don't have, this is not one of those crafts where it has to be completely perfect. Okay, we're about done with this. We'll move on to the really fun embellishment part. I have not done loopy flowers in a little while, and they're super fun. And you can make them out of really any kind of fabric you would like. So today we're using this ticking and the quilt batting, but I've made them with painter's drop cloth. I've made them with, you know, little scraps of fabric that are just something that you can pick up at a fabric store, at a craft store. There's our little banner. Okay. So if you don't have beads or you don't like beads, just skip that. If you just want it to be ticking, or just want it to be quilt batting, or you want it to be painter's drop cloth, or you want it to be something different, you can do that too. It's totally personal preference. Okay, so let's lay this out here. By the way, did you see yesterday's Christ and Crafting? This is what we made. These were the nails that I picked up last week at our cottage in Canada. And they're all rusty and yucky, and anyways, I love it. It turned out great. Okay, so I've got 3 pieces. I don't know why I have 2 extras, but that's fine. Okay, so to make the loopy flowers, we'll do, there's 2 ways. One is just coiled up, and then they stick up straight, and that is what I have on the center of this, a shorter coiled up. These ones around are flat loopy flowers, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, you're going to start with a circle of whatever kind of fabric you want to use that you're going to be gluing your piece to. And then for this one, I used a piece of fabric that was torn. It's not quite 4 inches. And then it can be however long you want. It's totally up to you. The longer it is, the bigger your flower will be. Okay. This is what the glue looks like. Oops. Well, that was smooth, Hiedi. Okay, let's try that one more time. This is what the glue looks like. We're working on fabric, but we're not using the special fabric sticks that look like this. They're white. Because you don't need to. You only use these white ones if it's a fabric thing that's going to be washed. But we're not going to ever wash these flowers or this banner. So it's kind of a waste, I think, to use the more expensive fabric hot glue, low temperature. Okay, so now I've got my strip, which, what did I say, how big was it? Not quite 4 inches in width. And I'm just gonna fold it in half, and I'm gluing these 2 ends, and you basically get something that kind of looks like a loop. See what I mean? That's why I call it a loopy flower. So I'm gonna go the whole length. And we'll do this also with the quilt batting. And then you can embellish these things however you would like. Like if you wanted to put a pearl in the center, or a pom-pom, you know, there's a zillion, or a piece of bling, if that's your style, you can totally dress and doll it up however you like. Okay, so we have this long loop, or it's like kind of like a tube, but tubey flowers sounds weird. Loopy flowers sounds better, right? Okay, so then I'm gonna cut a snip on the white area, almost all the way up to the top, but not quite, okay? If you accidentally cut all the way through, it's okay. You can glue them together. But let me just cut a few and then I'll show you. And I have to dig in my closet here out in the hall where I keep some of my completed projects. I want to look to see if I saved the quilt batting banner that I made last year. I'm not sure. I've been giving stuff away a lot lately, and I can't remember what I kept and what I gave away. But if I kept it, I'll get a picture and share it with you. Okay, so can you see how I have just cut? This is the part that we glued together, and this is the tube, and this is what we're getting. Okay, the closer up to the top that you clip it, the easier it will be for you to make a flat loopy flower. So let's do that. I did this one before I came live, so you wouldn't have to watch me clip. Ooh, and you can see right there, I clipped almost too far, but it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with our circle, and this flower ended up being quite large. So you can see how big the back was to start. So I decided to do a little bit smaller for the next one. All right, and I'm just going to do a little glue, you know, just a little ways around the top. You're going to start with one side or the other, and you're basically just pulling and pushing it into the glue. Let's keep going. And this is how you create the flat, and then we'll do another row right next to it. And then you can get really fancy, and you can, you know, make some smaller loops, or tube, or whatever you want to call this. And like on this big one, see how I did these ones all the same size, and then I did this row right here with a shorter one that's flat, and then this is the coiled in the very center. We'll do all of that so you can see. And if you decide to do some of these, of course, I would love to see pictures of your completed projects. So you can share them here or over at Dreamy DIY, which is that Facebook group that I set up for all of us to be able to share our craft ideas and pictures and stuff. Okay, I'm almost to the end here. Okay, so once you've made, and see, you are going to get glue on your hands, so please don't use a hot temperature one. I see lots of people on. I hope you like this project. If you do, please feel free to sprinkle so that your friends and family can learn how to do this too. Okay, so this is the first row. And there's lots of glue on it. Oh my word. Okay, now we're going to just do a bead of glue just inside of that. And let's see, I'm going to use this piece that I have left, and then I have this little piece left, and then we might use this piece that we started to clip. So I'm just scooching my little pieces down a little bit. And kind of forcing them to bend into a circle. Can you see what I've got going there? Here's the first row, and we're just going just barely inside of that center. Just keep going until you get all the way around. Wow, and this one piece made it. Okay, so now I have 2 rows. Can you see that? This was the first one and this is the second one. All the same size. Then what I decided to do with this one is I decided to, I guess I did 3 rows with this one with the bigger loops, but we're just gonna do 2 with this one because it's smaller. Then I decided to switch to a smaller tube, which I cut at a different direction. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the big tube and the stripes are all running with each little slice. And this is the small tube, which, let me measure it. It's not quite 2 inches full, and then I folded it in half, and then I did the same little snips. But notice that the lines of this fabric are running horizontal and not vertical or vice versa, whichever one is the correct way to say it, okay? So this just looks different when it's on. So let's just get started and we'll put some of this on. And we're, you know, making it, forcing it into a circle, a flat circle. We're not worrying what the inside of this is going to look like because it's going to be all covered up. So let me hold this up and show you. Okay, so we just started gluing this next tube just inside. Can you see that? The edge of the inside. So we'll go all the way to the end and then we'll just cut off the excess. And I'll save all this because I will definitely make some more of these off camera so that we can do the whole entire banner. But I'm not gonna make you sit and watch every single little bit of this. I just wanna teach you how to do these so that you can then take this idea and make it your own, in your own colors, your own style, whatever fabrics you choose, whatever will work for your house or if it's a gift. Okay, so we have 2 outside rows, and then we have 1 inside that's a smaller one. And then now I'm going to show you how to make the center. Okay, and we're going to need to actually make one because I don't have enough here. Okay, so here's a strip, It's probably smaller. This is probably only 1.5, but it'll still work. So I'm gonna just do the same thing. I'm gonna fold it in half. And how we roll this is different. We kind of coiled this one. All right, and I'm guessing that that is probably long enough. So I'm just gonna snip that off. And this is what we have. We have another tube or a loop. Can you see that? And let me quickly cut some snips. You can cut those as close together or as far apart as you like. It's personal preference. Oops. Okay, cut all the way through it, but that's all right. I'll show you how it's not going to make a difference. We'll just keep on gluing. And sometimes you do that. It just happens. I hope this is all making sense. If you hopped on late after I got started, when we're all finished here, this video will be available in my videos here at DiyDreaming, probably for as long as Facebook is a thing, or they, you know, do something different. But you can come back and watch from the start, or rewatch the whole thing if you want, if there were some steps that you feel like I rushed through. I just don't want to keep you on forever, so I'm trying to go quickly through the boring steps. Okay, so see, this is our smaller version, and the lines are running. They're not running out with the little snips. They're running the other direction. Okay, and we'll use this too. Let's start with this one, as a matter of fact. Okay, so with this, you are going to, let me think, how do I like to roll these better? I like to roll away from myself. So I'm going to put some glue on it, and then I'm just going to start coiling it up. Go a little bit further, and I'll show you. So I'm basically just rolling it onto itself. And here's the little snips at the top. So let me finish this part, and then we'll add the other piece that I accidentally cut all the way through. Okay, so here's the beginning of a little coiled loopy flower. And I'm just going to put some glue right here, and I'm just going to lay this on top of it, and we'll just continue rolling, 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 rolling into the glue, coiling it up pretty tight on itself. And you could keep going as long as you want, however big you want this little like bud to be. Okay, so this is what we have. Can you see how it stands up? It's not flat like the other piece. That's because of how we rolled it. We coiled it rather than pulling it around a circle and gluing it flat. Okay, and then we're just gonna pop this puppy right in the very center, and that's it. That's all there is to it. I'm putting a bunch of glue in the center, and I'm just gonna stick that in there and kind of push it a little bit flat, and ba-boom! So here's our bigger one, and here's our smaller one. Okay, so let's talk about the next thing. Let's do one with the quilt batting. We'll just do a real quick one. Okay, so I have a circle, and then this is just a snip of that little bit of quilt batting that I have left. I know someone's gonna ask how big it is, so I'll tell you. It's like 3 1/4 inches wide, and it doesn't matter how long it is. And look, I just didn't even do a good job cutting it, but that does not matter. This is my kind of crafting. Be as messy as you want, because it really does not matter. Okay. We're going to just do this quilt batting loopy flower. And let me think. We're just going to do a flat one for now. Although I do have this other piece. Maybe we'll do one row. I don't know. Let's see what this will make, okay? I want to assemble and put some doodads on our banner before 4 hours go by. Okay, so same deal. We've got our tube that's glued together on one side. And boy, I did not do a good job. Cut that off. So it's the same thing. You're just going to make your little snips almost all the way up to the very top. And the closer you get up to the top, the better, the easier it will be to kind of stretch it and make it lay flat. This, by the way, I want to give credit where credit is due. This flat version of a loopy flower, my friend Diane and I were trying to figure out how to make it lay flat and not stand up so much. And she was the one that figured it out and showed me how. So her name's Diane Brown and her page is DIY with Lady Di. Okay, we're almost there. And also my lights are getting very warm. So I know it's a little distracting, but I'm going to turn on my fan for a few minutes and I'll put, this is what is distracting for people, is this, the reflection of the, whoops, of the fan in that piece. So let me just put that down so it won't be a distraction, and I put my fan on. Okay, same exact deal. We've got our little snipped, and this is not even a good circle, but that doesn't matter either. We're going to do the exact same thing. Just going to lay it on and pull it around. And let me tell you this one thing about quilt batting. Okay, when you put hot glue on it, it kind of melts a little bit. And then if you get that on your fingers, it is going to feel a little bit hotter than just using our good old safe low temperature hot glue. So just be careful. And I have this finger thing. Where is it? Here it is. That I cannot remember who made this for me, but one of my followers did. It was so sweet of her. And I'm just going to use this to push it down. But you can also buy these little finger shield things at Dollar Tree if that would be easier for you to use. And that's what how she made this. Okay, so let's keep going. Just do be careful because, I don't know, it's hotter with the quilt batting for some reason. I have seen some, bad hot glue gun burns, and I've had a couple that weren't, you know, I didn't die or anything, but they are painful. Okay, so I'm gonna go clear to the beginning. Ouch. And then I'm gonna use what's left here to just go around one more loop, see if I can make that work. Just kind of yanking it down and sticking it in the glue. I did not cut it off like I did with the with this one in between rows. Yeah, I think this is gonna pretty nearly work just fine. Yay, okay. So here's the start of our quilt batting flower. we're just going to do 2 rows, and then we're going to use this little piece that I have left over, and we'll roll it up, coil it up. So it'll be kind of like this centerpiece. It's the exact same technique. I'm just coiling it up. And when I'm all finished with my project, I'll get my heat gun out and I'll go over the whole thing, and all these like strings of hot glue that are everywhere, they sort of shrink and disappear when you do that. They're pretty obnoxious right now though. They're everywhere. Okay, so here's my little coiled up loopy flower. There's the back of it. And we're gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of hot glue here in the center. And I'll stick this in there and push it down. We could make leaves if we wanted. And there you go. Isn't that cute? Okay, so you could add something in the very, very center if you wanted, like, this is too big. This is just what's handy, like a piece of bling, or a wood bead, or a pom-pom, a vintage button. Ooh, that'd be cute. Let's see, where are my vintage buttons? I don't have a bag of them somewhere here. So I could use a mother of pearl. These were the buttons that I took to Canada and didn't end up using all of them. It's too big. So I could, I'm not going to, but I could just glue on a vintage button, a wood button, anything like that in the center. Okay, let's come back to our banner now, and let's think about assembling it. We don't have all the flowers made. I'm gonna do some of those off camera, but let's think about embellishing it, and isn't it cute? And adding our little flowers. Okay, so I'm gonna start in the center, which I have an odd number. I have 7 pieces total. 4 of them are the ticking, and 3 are this quilt batting. And my thought was to put this biggest flower in the very center. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just covering the back of it in hot glue, and then I will just lay it where I want it to go and push it down. This is going to be so cute. Okay, an idea just came to me. I think that what I will do is I'll make one more just like this for the little piece right next door on both sides. So I'll need 2 of them. And then I'll use the smaller ones on the next one. And then on this final one out, we'll just put buttons on that. Some mother of pearl buttons. How does that sound? I think that sounds, we could even add a few little buttons here, but I think that might get kind of busy. So I am, let me think about this. I need to cut another circle so I know what size, basically, to have it be. So before I glue it down, it would be safe to just get something roughly the same size. Okay, that's way too big. That's still way too big. And also it's an oval, not even a circle. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is roughly the same size. So when I make my next flower, because I want them to be roughly the same size on either side. Okay, so I'm going to glue this on here. I was going to also mention that you could use some of these leaves, these burlap leaves that you can pick up at Dollar Tree. I mean, there's so many things that you could do. Okay, so that's on there. Let's do this one, and then let's put some lace and some buttons on the outside one. And I'll hold this up so you can see this end. And then I'll just need to go and do the these little flowers for the other side so that they're okay. So let me show you what we've got at this point. Here's the center, the next one, this one, and then we're going to do something on this guy right here. And I could either do some of this burlap trim from Dollar Tree, but I think what I would rather do is just a little band of lace. So let me think about it. I think I'm just going to do this medium size. I'm going to do a little band of lace right here. And then I'll pick out some pretty mother of pearl buttons. And we'll just sprinkle some on here. See what I did? Okay, let me get my actual thing of buttons. And yes, I love vintage buttons. Love them. And let me just look to see what I have that's pretty. I just want a mix of different sizes. This is one thing that I'm always, ooh, this is a pretty one. It's not even a circle, it's kind of an oval. I am always looking when I'm out at different, I don't know, antique shops, craft fairs, things like that. I'm always looking for buttons. And surprisingly, I have actually found, I have purchased buttons at an antique store several times. I've ordered from somebody on Etsy once, and let's see, how do I want this to go? You can find them. They're out there. What is the front of this? I can't decide. I think this is the front. I'm doing a random pattern. Several of you guys have told me that you have your grandmother's coffee cans or mason jars full of their buttons. And several of you guys have told me that you remember as a child playing with your mother or grandmother's buttons. And I just, every time I hear that from one of you guys, I feel so envious, because I'm sure my grandmother saved all that kind of stuff too. That was sort of the thing that they did. But she didn't know that we would like that, and I might or might not have enjoyed that. I don't even know. Okay, let me look at this and see. Is it getting too busy? What do I really need? This is all just in the eye of the beholder. What pattern makes sense to your eye? If you do random, then you won't have to worry that the other side is exactly the same. What do you guys think? Oh boy, I've got a lot of strings of glue and of, look at that. So this is one side of our banner. And I want to know what you guys think. This is starting at the outside, and then the next one, and the next one, and then this is the center. Let's see if I can hang it up. I don't know if I made my loops big enough. Well, anyways. I think you can sort of see it. I'll space everything out good before I hang it up. What do you think? So just to go back over this project real quick, what you need is some twine to hang it on, your choice, but this is my favorite. It's called Natural Polished Hemp from Walmart. You'll need some ticking fabric if you decide to do it like this, or whatever kind of fabric, honestly, you want. You'll need some quilt batting. Mine came from Walmart. The funny story about this is, and maybe this is why it gets so hot when it has hot glue on it, but after I purchased it and brought it home, the packaging said that it was microwave safe. I think that this was intended for people to use if they were making those potato things that you cook potatoes in a microwave, or for like a lunch kind of container or something. That's the only thing I can figure out. So this, mine apparently is safe in the microwave, but you don't need that. Just get whatever quilt batting, or if you have some, if you want to incorporate that element. And then, what else? I used the beads from my Walmart Christmas garlands that I got last week. And that's pretty, and a few buttons, or not, it's up to you. Whatever your style is. Hazel, if you came in late, as soon as I'm finished here, you can go back and watch it from the beginning. Aw, you guys are so nice to me. I really do love crafting. And I know this is pretty, it's pretty subdued and neutral, and maybe that is not your style. But with this craft and with everything else that I do here at DiyDreaming, honestly, my goal is not for you to recreate what I make exactly. It's just to show you an idea, step by step, how to do it, and then to let you take that idea and make it your own, in your own colors, your own style, the size that works for you, you know, to go in your home or as a gift. So we did Loopy, we did the flat Loopy flowers, and then we did the coiled standing up Loopy flowers. You can do that with absolutely any kind of fabric that you would like. How big are the banner pieces? Okay, I went over all of that at the very beginning. So if you do want to come back and watch from the beginning, I'll quickly see if I can measure. Again, I think it was, they were about 7 inches long by about 5.5 inches wide. And I did go over all of that. So if you missed the beginning, you can come back and take notes. Oh, you know what? This quilt batting, okay, a light bulb just came on for me. This could also be what you might use to make a hot pad, to take things out of the oven. So if you love, you know, like bright colors and super, super big and bold prints and things like that, if that would work in your house, or you have all purple or whatever it is, you can do this banner using the things that I taught you today in your style. And I want to see pictures. So that's what I wanted to show you today. I will, after I get it all finished, I will get pictures and I'll share those here in the comments as well as just on DIY Dreaming. If you liked this project, I would love it if you would sprinkle this to your personal Facebook page. That's basically how my business grows. And if you have any questions, let me know. Alrighty, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys possibly later today. Bye. Oh, wait, one last thing. If you want to see what I have coming up this week, do a this, that's a heart, or a this, that's a thumbs up, or say something here in the comments, and take 2 seconds up here, if you're watching on Facebook, to look to see if you've liked and followed DIY Dreaming. If you're watching on YouTube, take 2 seconds to subscribe to my channel, and then that will improve your odds that Facebook will serve you the projects that I have coming up this week. And I have a lot of things, a lot of fun things to do. All right, now I really will say goodbye, but I appreciate you guys. I hope that you, oh my goodness, thank you so much to everybody who did stars. I'm gonna sit down and read all of your comments. I hope you felt like you learned something. The flat loopy flowers and the spiral loopy flowers are really not difficult. It's just knowing how to do it. So I hope you feel equipped to be able to do it in your style. All right, see you guys later.